What's up, everybody? Welcome to Let's Learn with Nurse Grace. If you're new to this channel or you've just come across this channel, my name is Grace Hezekiah. I'm a registered nurse currently in the United Kingdom. So guys, as you can see from the title, today I'll be teaching you guys on how to calculate your safe days and your fertile days. So this is for those people specifically who want to use the rhythm method of family planning. The rhythm method of family planning is where basically you get to know your most safe days, and that is the safest days for you to have unprotected sex. And for those who are actually trying, you get to know the actual fertile days for you to practice the unprotected sex in order for you guys to conceive. So if you are the one who is interested into this video, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel and watch this video until the end. Thank you so much for those who have always been here, and for those who are already subscribed, thank you so much, and I appreciate that. So let's get to the video. So guys, what do I mean by a cycle? A cycle, it's actually the first day of which you started your menstrual cycle towards the end of your cycle. The end of your cycle is basically the last day before you actually start the next fertile days. So what do I mean by this? I mean, you can actually do this method by at least calculating for about 3 months. So what you do, just the next day you start your period, mark it as day 1. Then go towards your calendar towards the end, and the next time you see your calendar, let's say for example you started your period on the 1st of maybe February. Now if you go towards the 1st, 2nd until the maybe 28th, if you've got the 28th cycle, then you'll go up to the 28th, and most probably 29th or 30th is when you're going to start your menstrual period, or other people might start even on the 27th, or if your cycle is maybe up to 21 or up to 35, it depends. So that day that you see your menstrual period, just go back and the day, if you started your menstrual period maybe on 29th, I've already said this, if you started on the 1st, then you go back next and you start on the 29th. So your cycle is simply from the 1st of February up to the 28th of February. You don't count again that 29. That 29 is the another start of another cycle. I hope we are together. So how do we calculate the fertile days? So most people are actually on the 28th cycle, the 1st up to 28. So that is the cycle of which most people are in. But there are those people who have a very short cycle of which is up to 21. Maybe some have 25, then 28. So it actually depends, up to around 35. This is what is known as the normal cycle. And I will teach you one day about the abnormal cycle, which is less than this and more above 35. So that is not actually normal cycle. And if your cycle ranges between this, it means that you have a normal cycle. And I will be focusing most probably on the 1st up to 28 because this is where most people lie in. So what are the safe days and what are the fertile days? So the first day that you start your menstrual cycle is this. Let's say this first here, this is the first day. This is the first day of your menstrual cycle. This is the first day that you started your menstrual cycle. So what happens, and most people actually go from day 1 up to around day 5 or day 7. So it depends. But we are not going to be looking at that. So from the first day here of which you started your menstrual cycle to the 7th day here, you are very safe. From the first day of which you started your menstrual cycle to the 7th day of your cycle, you are very safe. So this time, this is the period where you're safe. Although at this period is when most of the people have their menstrual cycle. So if you have like maybe cycle for 3 days, then it means you have at least another 5 days to enjoy your unprotected sex. If for those people who have up to 7 days, within this period, your safe days, but you know, if your menstrual period, not many people would like to engage in unprotected sex, or during that period, not many people do the practice sex during this period. So this period is when you're actually safe days. So when you start counting from the 8th day of your cycle, if you started your cycle, let's say on the 1st of February, and then you go 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, up to the 7th day is when you're safe. Up to the 7th day. So from the 8th day, you are not safe. You are no longer safe. From the 8th day, you are no longer safe. And if your cycle goes up to 28th, you know that ovulation normally occurs on the 14th day. This is just 2 weeks before your actual menstrual cycle. You see, 14 days. If you calculate from 14 to 28, it's exactly 2 weeks. That is the most time of which ovulation happens. And what is ovulation? If you've already seen in my previous video, I've already explained about ovulation and how to know what signs you are going to be looking at in order for you to know that you're ovulating. So on the 14th day is where most of the people experience the ovulation. And if you're actually that person who doesn't want to get pregnant, this is not the best period for you to actually practice unprotected intercourse. So if you do that on the ovulation day, then it means most probably you're going to be pregnant. From the 8th day up to the 19th day here. So this is the unsafe days. Unsafe days. So if you are the one who is trying to conceive, then this is the best time. From the 8th day up to the 19th day, this is actually the best time for you to practice unprotected sex in order for you to conceive or to get pregnant. So this is actually the best time. And from the 19th on towards the 28th here, this is also again the safe days. So why do I say that? I say this is the unsafe days because, guys, you know what is the lifespan for a sperm and what is the lifespan of an ovum? The lifespan of an ovum is between 12 to 24 hours. And the lifespan of a sperm is up to 5 days. Well, this just depends on the environment of which the sperm is going to. And which environment are we talking about? We're talking about the uterus, the vagina, the cervix. If the environment is very conducive, for these 5 days, a sperm can survive. And for these 12 to 24 days, an ovum survives. What is an ovum? An ovum is basically that egg which is going to be released in order for this sperm to fertilize, for it to make a baby. So if you're going to be practicing sex during this period, between 8, so we have said that period for which a sperm dies, it's about 5 days. So if you're going to be practicing unsafe sex from the 8th up to 14th, you see we have like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, up around 6, maybe let's say around 9th to around 12 days. So, you know, we can't be exact because we don't mean like if it's 14th, it's going to be happening that day, although this is the best day that it's going to be happen, but it might happen maybe close to 13 and 14. So let's say you practice unprotected sex on the 18th. This means that you might have a very good chance of you conceiving on the 15th because the normal period for a sperm to survive is up to 5 days. So if you practice unprotected sex for this during this period, it means that you are not safe and you might conceive. But if you're that person who is trying to actually conceive, then from the 8th day towards the 19th day, this is the very, very best time for you to practice unsafe sex. So what do we say? Why is this day safe? It basically means because if ovulation is going to be happening between these 3 days, let's just circle these 3 days because this is where you start seeing the signs and symptoms. If it's going to be happening within this, of which this is the main day, then it means that if you have had any unprotected sex and this ovum, which is the egg, it survives for up to 12 to 48 to 24 hours. So if it happens within this period, then it means there's a very good chance for you to be conceiving within this period. That's why we say you are not safe. This is the period where you are actually not safe for you to have unprotected sex. And this is how to calculate your safe days and your fertile days. So from the first day towards the 8th day, you're very safe for you to practice unprotected sex. Although this period is where most people have the menses, and from the 8th day up to the 19th day is unsafe because this time we have the ovulation, and also as we have said about the sperm and the days, it means that there's a high chance for you to conceive during this period. And from this day, it means that if ovulation already happened, the egg is already dead. And if it's not there, it's no longer there. Even no matter how many unprotected sex you have, no matter the lifespan of the sperm, it means that you're actually not going to get pregnant because there is no egg for it to get fertilized. So from this day up to this day, you're going to be having safe days and you can have unprotected sex. That's the normal 28 days, but I'll make sure to do a video on those who have 35 days and 21 days. But for today, I was just focusing on the 28th day, of which ovulation occurs normally on the 14th day, which is the 2 weeks before your next menstrual cycle. If you found this video helpful, or if you've got any question for me about any of this that I've talked about, please make sure that you do that in the comment section. Let's interact, let's learn more about this, and I'll be doing more videos on this, guys. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you can get to grow. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Have a nice day and see you in my next video. Goodbye.